Storing data with variables. There are lots of different types of variables, but we're going to get started with the most common and simplest form, a string, and we've actually been using these already. So what I have here is just from that last lesson, I've got a regular HTML document here, nothing fancy. I have a script tag accessing the source of script.js, that's this file that also exists. This is using an external JavaScript file, and it simply closes that tag, and we can write JavaScript in here. Now in here, we don't need to write script. We don't write any HTML at all. It's just straight JavaScript. And what we can do here is we can create a new variable. So let's create a new variable called var. Website is equal to https codingforeverybody.com. This could be a variable. We could also declare another variable name. Let's do teacher name, and you see it's camel cased here. So little t, capital N, that is a common way to name variables in JavaScript. Teacher name is Caleb Tallien. That is me. I am Caleb Tallien, your coding teacher. And in here we could say console.log. And what we've been doing so far is if I write my own name in here, it looks exactly like this. In fact, if I highlight it, it highlights in two places. It shows me that it's the exact same. Now, because this is a variable, I can delete that and write teacher name. And what this is going to do is say, access this variable that's defined here. This variable is equal to Caleb Tallien. So it goes from here to here to here. Now, at this point, you're probably thinking, well, why would I do that when I could just write this out? What if you wanted to console log a bunch of times? You would have to select all of these, and you'd have to write Caleb Tallien. One by one by one by one by one by one by one. And that's going to be very, very painful. And then what happens? What happens if I change that name to Caleb Tallien 2? Well, then I got to go here, 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 here. And it's painful. And we don't want to do that. So we can use instead, just undo all of that, teacher name. Now, if you're just coming to JavaScript, you're just entering this course now, and you just saw me do a bunch of wizardry. First of all, let's go ahead and delete these lines. What I did here was I Command C, Command V, or Control C, Control V, and that just copied the whole line. Now to select the next occurrence, what I did was I double-clicked on teacher name, and I went to View. Maybe Selection. Add next occurrence. Selection, add next occurrence. Selection, add next occurrence. That shortcut is Command D for me, probably Control D for you if you're on Windows, and then anything else in here. And then Command Z or Control Z to undo. That's all I did there. So it's good to know how your editor works, but I know a lot of people are going to ask about that. I get this question dozens of times a day, so I figured I would throw that in this lesson anyways. Now, if we look at the syntax for a variable, we have var, stands for variable. Then we have some sort of name. We do not put special characters in here, so don't write #, hashtag. Keep it simple. Just call it hashtag if you need to, or website. Typically, we do not capitalize the first letter. This means something else in different programming languages. This usually means it's a class, not a variable. We'll talk about that way down the road, but for now, keep it lowercase. If you have multiple words in one variable, one thing you'll see in different programming languages is underscores. So it'll all be lowercase, and then it'll say teacher _ name. And in JavaScript, sure, we can do that, but we tend to do JavaScript. The JavaScript way is lowercase t for teacher, and then every word after that is capitalized with the first letter being capitalized. Then we say is equal to, and that is one single equal sign. This is the assignment operator. And that means teacher name here and website are variables. So your computer is going to go off and reserve a little piece of memory for both of those. And in the first one, it's going to grab all of this. This is your string. And it's going to jam it inside of the website piece of memory that your computer's allocated. This is a string as well. This has an opening quotation, a closing quotation. And inside of it, we can have spaces, we can have numbers, we can have letters, we can have anything we want in here. It doesn't matter. Whoa, I went way too far there. But we can have anything we want in here. and that makes it a string because it's got an opening and a closing quotation. Alternatively, instead of using quotations, we can use apostrophes as well. As long as it opens and closes with the same thing, that's all that really matters. So this is a string. And that's saying this string, this sentence, is now going to belong in this piece of memory called teacher name. That's the short name. That's how we access this piece of memory in your computer. And then we can access that piece of memory by its short name and then access whatever is in that piece of memory. Now, if I lost you in the computer science part, that is a-okay. All you need to remember is variable. Something is equal to quotations, something else, semicolon. That is a string. And in fact, this is the string part of it. And if I go ahead and change this to website, let's go ahead and refresh our page here. And we can see that it shows up with codingforeverybody.com. Next up, let's talk about two new variable types found in modern JavaScript. We're going to skip ahead about 25 years into modern JavaScript.